Hey YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a deck profile on my Dark World deck. Dark World has been a popular deck since the structure deck came out back in, I think it was the end of 2011 now. So they've been around, they've topped a couple times actually last year, and then now they're still really good because they didn't really get impacted at all in the last, well, for this format. So let's get started here. Start off, triple Grapha. Everybody hates Grapha. He always comes back. He's really annoying. He's 3000 with the field spell. So he's basically the main boss monster. He pretty much does everything. Next, triple Snoww on Light of Dark World. He is ridiculous. He can search for any Dark World card, including the field spell or Dark World dealings. Anything with Dark World in the name, he can search from the deck when he gets discarded by a card effect. So, he can even search for himself if he feels like it, but usually he's going to search for the field spell or Grapha or something like that. Next, I've got 3 Broww, Huntsman of Dark World. He has draw power when he gets discarded by a card effect. So yeah, he rounds out the... So these are basically the 9 Dark World monsters that everybody runs 3 of. Next I've got 1 Sillva. He's the other strong monster. Technically, I've actually been thinking of putting a second one in, just so I can go into rank 5 monsters like Terrace and Adris. But 1 seems fine because the deck draws so fast, the deck moves so quick that really getting 2 Sillva isn't really that hard, so I may actually try it out, but for right now, the main build I have just uses 1. And then, to round out the Dark World monsters, I've got 2 Beiige, Vanguard of Dark World. He special summons himself just like Sillva when he gets discarded by a card effect. But he just doesn't have a secondary effect like Sillva, and he's weaker. So, Sillva's pretty good because he also gets over like Stardust Dragon when he has the field spell. And then for the remaining Fiend monsters, 1 Tragoedia, probably the most useless card because the deck moves so fast you almost never use him. Almost always he gets discarded with like Dark World dealings and he gets banished for the field spell. And then 1 Tour Guide of the Underworld. 1 seems to be working just fine actually, because you have multiple targets. Your targets are your Broww, and then Sangan, which is the last monster in the deck. So 1 tour guide. And that rounds out the monsters. This probably is the only deck I have that has like the least amount of monsters in here. I think there's only like 15 or 16 monsters. Next I run triple Gates of Dark World, the field spell card. Works really well with the Dark World monsters. Triple Dark World dealings. Draw 1 card. Oh, each player draws 1 card, then discards 1 card. So I like this over Drag Down because it's always, you can always use it. You can't always use Drag Down because if your opponent doesn't have any cards, you can't activate it. Next I run triple Upstart Goblin. Just draw even more. The 3000 life points that you give your opponent doesn't really help them that much with this deck. And then 1 Allure of Darkness for even more draw power, and then 1 card destruction for even more draw power. And then I run double Drag Down. I would run a third, but I only have 2, so I just run 2. 2 seems to be fine. And then 1 Foolish Burial, just to mainly throw Grapha in there so you can quickly get him up to the field just by summoning any of your regular level 4 lower Dark World guys. Just thins the deck even more, basically. So you don't have to search for Grapha, you can just throw him in the graveyard and then you can search for like Snoww, or Snoww can like search for the Gates of Dark World or something. But then Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and this is supposed to be Monster Reborn, so basically Monster Reborn. And then for the trap cards, I run triple Reckless Greed, just to, again, draw even more. And then when you like flip up 2 of them at the same time, you only lose your next 2 draw. You draw 4 cards, but you only lose your next 2 draw phases. So it works really well in the deck. And then 2 Mind Crush, just its Dark World style. One Solemn Judgement, stops basically everything except for monster effects. And you can always use it on like Warning. And then one Deck Devastation Virus. And one Skill Drain, just to shut down a lot of decks that rely on their effect monsters. Like Blackluster Soldier, for example. So that's the spell cards. And then for the Exceed monsters, really, the deck doesn't rely too much on Exceeds. It's mainly going to be Tour Guide, it's going into the rank 3s. So the ones that I found that are really useful in the deck is Acid Golem of Destruction, Wind Up Zenmaines, obviously, Wind Up Zenmaines. And then it's just basically whatever rank 3s you have. You can run Leviathan, Giga-brilliant even is a viable choice. But rank 3 is the main one that you'll see, and then occasionally you can go into rank 4s. So again, just any generic rank 4s. Maestroke is preferable over Utopia because he's a fiend, so you can banish him with a field spell when he's in the graveyard. So hope you guys like the deck. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. See you next time.